Hi, I'm Jim Henderson. After many years of selling Alaska, I put together a show called How to Be Alaskan, the 49th State in 49 Minutes. I put together a 4-minute version for you, showing what the show has to offer. I'll follow up with some other details at the end of the video. I'm going to take you on a tour throughout the entire state, give you a little insight as to what Alaskans, what makes us tick, and what we're like, and some things you probably didn't even know about us. Now, you probably don't know we have a wood frog. It freezes solid. It stops breathing, it heart stops. Its biggest fear is waking up in a margarita. Now, if you look at Alaskans, what's their biggest fear? Finding a frog in their margarita. Now, this is a barabara, which is a native dwelling out on the St. Lawrence Island made of natural materials. This happens to be a failed hotel on the way to Fairbanks. You can pick it up right now for a mere $300,000. But let me start by just sharing with you some of the questions that people actually ask at our Visitor Information Center. You ready for this? What time do you turn on the northern lights? Well, what's the number one question? Come on, yell it out. Number one question, one of the visitors actually saw the show, corrected me. This is the number one question they ask at the Visitor Center. Somebody asked me about the Republican platform. I thought they were talking about shoes. Oh, well. So you see, those misconceptions, they're perpetuated. Look, if these guys could ever get out of jail at one time, they could finish the show. And it's a food source for Alaska Native people. But oh, now we're going to save these three. They ended up naming them Pitu, Siku, and Kanik as it became a national story. And the CNN reporter went up to the Native man. He said, what do these names mean in Native language? The Native guy says, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they have a good sense of humor. Which movie was filmed in Alaska? North to Alaska, A? Or The Thing, B? Let's hear it for A. Let's hear it for B. Woo! Well, believe it or not, The Thing was filmed in Alaska, but the ironic thing is it was filmed in Alaska, but it was set in Antarctica. Husband says it's pronounced toke, wife says it's pronounced talk, he says toke, she says talk. They get into toke, he gets out of Winnipeg, he walks in, he said, sir, can you tell me the name of this place and say it slowly and distinctly? And the old boy says, Dairy Queen. So we're a fun bunch here. And if you're gonna go in the official state sport, you're gonna go dog mushing. Giving blood is a good thing. You're just gonna do it in Alaska whether you like it or not. But you know, wherever you come from, everybody has their own language. So let's learn how to speak Alaskan. All right, if you know the answers, yell them out. A building you keep your food in. A cache, all right, yell them out. We are the westernmost state, the northernmost state, and since we crossed the international date line, we're also the easternmost state. We have 33,000 miles of coastline. That's more than the entire United States put together. Hang on here. Siri, how tall is Denali?
The elevation of Denali is about 20,308 feet above sea levels.
Whatever you don't know, you can find out. State capital, down here on the Panhandle, this is where we keep our legislators, lobbyists, and politicians, because we couldn't find a further spot. There's about 30,000 people down in Juneau.
The population in Juneau is 32,756. The politicians are like you, Jim. Fast and loose with their facts.
But everybody's biggest fear is like, oh my God, it's gonna be cold in Alaska. We love our winters. We have a blast here. What else do we have to do at the time? This is what your kids are doing in college up in Fairbanks. This is a snow disaster. This is a snow emergency. All right, what I should do is to give you a little idea here. Let's go to the extreme weather report with Robert Forget. Robert.
Jim. Hey, today we're going to talk about the cold and the hot, the wet and the sunny in Alaska. But we're going to talk about extremes. Hey, did you know the coldest day ever recorded in Alaska was in Prospect Camp Creek? It was in 1971 in January, and the temperature was 80 below.
Oh, boy.
Did you know, Jim, that whiskey freezes at 65 below?
I didn't know that whiskey froze.
It's time to come inside and warm up.
And this is a little beluga whale. It's the only whale that actually has a neck muscle and can turn and look at you when you're swimming along with it. Lots of things you don't know about Alaska. Journey, they had to climb up the Chilkoot Pass. Each man had to carry 1,000 pounds up to cross into the Canadian border. Some of these men made as many as 20 and 30 trips, depending on how much they could carry, but they all had one thing in mind: I'm gonna get rich. And boom, Anchorage was born. 18,000 men, more of them looking for their fortune, down here in what I call the mud, the blood, and the beer. Here we go, hobo!
Fast and she's sleek, she's northbound. She's the engine of pride. Through canyons and mountains of snowbound, it's the great Alaska Railroad I ride.
Strange things are done 'neath the midnight sun, where men who toil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that'll make your blood run cold. Texas is a big, hard state. The only thing hard on a Texan is third grade. Oh, yeah? Anything crazy you're going to do while you're in Alaska?
Don't know yet, but we'll certainly have a look. Find a bear to see from a distance, from the safety of our vehicle. We'll be very happy.
Now, is that you're going to see a beer or a bear?
A B-E-A-R. Or maybe a bear as well.
It wasn't only men. There were women that actually were flying airplanes up into Fairbanks and handing them over to the Soviet pilots. Many romances developed at that time, which might explain some of the families we have in Fairbanks. But Bob Hope came every year. Bob Hope, he said, I want this suitcase to go to Alaska. I want this suitcase to go to Honolulu. I want this suitcase to go to New York. She said, we can't do that. I said, why not? You did it last time. Believe it or not, this is right up here on 4th Avenue. This theater is actually part of what's sunk down, but I don't want to scare anybody. But it was a dark spot for Alaska and Anchorage, and we just built it from there. It gave us a chance to start with a clean slate and start to build a modern city and a modern state. My next door neighbor, Bernie, out in Spenard, he used to drink vodka with a coffee mug, and I went to him and I said, Bernie, you were here in the earthquake. What was it like? He says, well, I didn't even feel it. Mr. Jacques Cousteau. The journey of the salmon begins at sea when young salmon reach puberty. So I ask you the question, is it illegal to serve a moose of beer in Alaska? True? Let's hear it for true. Let's hear it for false. Can you believe it? There's a law that says you can't serve a moose of beer. My question is, what were these guys doing in those days? They were getting drunk with a moose. They said, oh, no. One can's for the husband, one can's for the wife. I said, they're orange. How can I tell the difference? He said, well, the one for the wife is empty. So, I'll tell you, if Anchorage and Fairbanks had a baby, they would call it Wasilla. Oh, I get no respect. No, my dog sits at the door. He barks. He doesn't want out. He wants me to get the hell out of there. Oh, yeah. My dog sits at the edge of the bed. He wants to learn how to beg. Oh, I tell you, no respect. No respect. The dogs that run the Iditarod, we call them athletes. They're trained to run. They burn probably about 10,000 calories a day. And right up here on 4th Avenue, 1,600 dogs in 90 teams take out on a 1,000-mile trek. You know, we're so proud of our state, and I enjoy sharing it with everybody. People from New Zealand, people from around the world, people from our own country. We're very proud of our state. A little boy, Benny Benson, at the age of 13 in 1927, designed our territorial flag. Marie Drake set it to a poem, and Eleanor Dusenberry turned it into a song, as you can see them putting it together here. 8 stars of gold on a field of blue, Alaska's flag may it mean to you. I told you.
Your 49 minutes are up to. Say goodbye.
Oh, God.
I bet these people are happy.
I told you I could make 49 minutes seem like an hour. All right, let's sing it on out here. Wow, was that a lot of show in a short period of time? I've got all kinds of shows to offer you. Many different varieties of shows, different lengths. I'm flexible, easy to work with, professional, and you can put me to work helping you entertain your guests.